Best LinkedIn outreach strategy for this year. Starts with the first message template. Here's what it looks like. Hey name, which is the first name, then the first line, personalization, then the permanent part, which is your offer and social proof, call to action, the CTA, and you sign out with a small signature at the very end of the message. Now let's talk at the actual structure. What was this? How does it make sense? The first message is the most important message because obviously you cannot make the first impression twice. So you really want to put some effort into this. Obviously, you start with the first name, is just as I have just shown you. Then you go to the personalization part, which is the first line must be witty and have a form of attention grabbing comment about the person. So what I like doing is that sometimes I go over their about me section on LinkedIn. Sometimes it has something there, usually down at the very bottom, because this is where people include their personal information. Or you can click directly to their website, check out the about us section on their website, whatever it is. Sometimes people leave something funny, something you can kind of hold on to. Even a simple Google search can really help. Yeah, you can quickly find something really attention grabbing, something that shows them that you've done a bit of your homework. What happens next is you tell them right away what you're up to and why you contact them. So don't hide this. This is really, really important because LinkedIn is a professional network. It's B2B business, and people are there to be pitched. Yeah. So look for ideal clients, grow their thought leadership and stuff like this. Yeah. It's all down there for the business purposes. So it's very important you go out there and let them know why you're reaching out. Doesn't mean that you have to pitch the stuff that you have right away. Yeah. It makes no sense. You don't pitch, but you have to know exactly why you're reaching out to them. And tell them also to let you know if they already know that they're not interested. This is used for, I mentioned here for deliverability, this is more for cold emailing, but it also is the case here. So if they know that they're not interested, they can let you know right away. And it's really, really useful for both of you so you don't waste more time on them. And then you close off with a call to action. Call to action is really important because you kind of want them to do something, and you're the only person that knows what you want them to do. So you kind of have to tell them to do something. And usually it's something to do with a micro conversion, even just a basic reply can be considered as a call to action in this case. So again, this is what the first message template looks like, and I hope it makes sense to you now. Moving onwards in with our best LinkedIn outreach strategy, you need some help. If that's the case, I highly advise you to join my B2B growth community. It's called Growth Guild. It's 100% free. I'm there to help you out, answer your questions. And it's always cool to learn some stuff from the community, interact with other people in sometimes slightly different industries, but everybody's like service based. People are looking to sell their stuff, learning from each other, giving back, and so on and so forth. The link is in the description. Now, the next thing about this whole LinkedIn outreach strategy, there's a ton of automation tools. I've done a separate video about them and why I don't recommend using any automation tools. So talking about Galaxy, Dripify, Expandy. I prefer and I highly recommend using a virtual assistant instead. The reasons for that is following. Yeah, so up until very recently in like June 2023, so not too long ago, there was a loophole which allowed all of the automation tools to basically send out up to like 2,500 connection requests every single month. Then LinkedIn patched that loophole, and now they are only able to send out approximately 800 connection requests every single month. If you have like even if you have a sales navigator, right? So 800, so it's not that many, which means that you don't really have a lot of margin for error. So before you were able to send like a ton of connection requests, and some of those people that you were sending out these connection requests automatically, they didn't fall into your ideal customer profile, so they didn't fall into your ICP. But because there are so many, it didn't really matter. But now the price, quote unquote, for every lead has gone up. Yeah, because you have like 3 times less now, and you can't really afford to lose those. So the margin of error is pretty high for automation tools, no matter what you do with them. Okay, So that's from my experience. Also, there is a risk for account ban, even though LinkedIn is not crazy like say Facebook ads or whatever it is, but it still is possible, especially on newer or and lesser used accounts. So if you're like refresh, don't just hook up the automation tool onto it. It's not going to go well, most like very likely. Okay. LinkedIn is nice in a way, kind of gives you a warning. It's like, okay, we're seeing you doing something dodgy. Don't do that. You kind of sign it, and then you can continue onwards using LinkedIn. But if you do it again, they won't be happy with you. So there's a chance of like getting your LinkedIn profile banned, and you don't want to happen. Okay, so just use a VA. It's a lot better. So a trained VA prospector, something that I advise you to do, is going to find companies that fit your ideal customer profile. That goes down to about 40 per day. So you have 5 days a week and approximately 4 weeks in a month. Yeah, for a working month. So you end up pretty much with 800 connection requests sent out every single month. And they will also connect with the decision maker. So they actually, a trained VA, what they do for you, they go to your sales navigator. They have a very specific guidelines on what sort of companies they're looking for that fit your ideal customer profile. And then they actually find the decision maker that you need. Yeah, so they would be going like company by company. This is something that I personally recommend. This is something that I found out people should be doing instead of just looking for decision makers to begin with. You should start with a company then first, and then you find the decision makers within those companies. So that's what the trained VA virtual assistant prospector would be doing for you. And then there is a person called a setter. So when you're just starting out, of course, I highly recommend you do your own prospecting. So you kind of accustom yourself with the types of clients you are going to work with that you're looking for. Because as you look through LinkedIn profiles, it kind of makes more and more sense to you. You see these people, you see their profiles, you understand what level they're at, yeah, in terms of how much education they need for whatever your service, and you kind of start understanding them better. So I highly recommend you do this at the very start yourself, do this whole prospecting thing. But once you get a grip of it, you should outsource it as quickly as possible. You should find a VA and train them to do this for you because it's a monotonous work and you kind of don't want to waste your time on that. Then there is a setter, which is typically that would be you, yeah, for time being. So the idea is to send out the first message. So that's what you'll be doing, and I showed you the template for it. And then they also do the business development until getting the person to the discovery call, which is definitely the case, which you will be definitely taking for a while. Yeah, going on to the discovery calls. So the setting part is, and we'll look into the KPIs a little bit later. Later, the setting part can be pretty time consuming because, well, business to business cycles, they last for a while. So that may take a while. But this is the setup. Yeah, so you have somebody looking for, there's a continuous flow of leads that fit your ICP, ideal customer profile. This is really, really important that they fit your ideal customer profile because you don't want to add people that have nothing to do with what you do. It's a waste. It's a waste of time, waste of resources, waste of everything. You don't want to do that. And then you have this other thing going on inside. So there's a person doing this whole kind of management and getting the right people to reply to you. Must knows. These are important for any sort of B2B sales processes. First of all, approximately 7 touch points before any conversion takes place. So this is how much time we need to interact with the potential clients. Only 3% of any audience are looking to purchase a solution. This is important. It comes from Chet Holmes' buyer's pyramid. Any moment in time, only 3% of the market, any audience that you are interacting with, are looking for a solution to buy. It doesn't mean that they're going to buy it from you, but you should be aware that only 3% are looking to buy, and your messages, they need to be aligned with this information. That's why I share it with you here. And obviously the rest, they need to be educated in some way. Yeah, so of course there's like 30% of the entire audience, they know that they're not interested, and then there's 30% that are they do have this problem, but they're not aware about this yet, and they need to have some level of education. They might be our potential buyers in future, but at the moment they're just not looking for it. So our best LinkedIn outreach strategy needs to Find the prospects that fit into the ideal customer profile. As I mentioned, the virtual assistant will be doing this. Find the 3% as soon as possible, the 3% obviously that are looking for a solution. And this is achieved through the message at the very start. And I showed it at the very start of this video. So this message allows you to kind of like briefly introduce people to your offer, what you have, why you're reaching out to them, and see how they react to this, because that's the idea. We don't want to burn the like 97 other people with a pitch. Yeah. Instead, you just let them all know why you're contacting them and see how they react to this. And then we are also looking to promote the touch points, and we need at least 7. And there are a couple of options for this. So you want to engage with their content. This is quick, easy, and pretty good method of developing these touch points. Yeah. So if they produce content, the big question is if they produce this content, because there's a lot of people that are actually, the absolute majority of people on LinkedIn, like 99% of LinkedIn, they do not produce any form of content. Of those that have any activity on their profile pages, a substantial amount of those are reposts, so they have nothing to do with their original content. So, but if they do produce content, these are quick and easy methods to, because we ultimately produce content to shine ourselves. We want some interaction, and we're so happy every time we get a reaction, we get a comment, anything of that nature. So if you go out there, smother their ego a little bit, goes a long way. Pretty easy to do. Other things that you can do to promote the touch points: touch base via direct messages. So again, building rapport, not pitching anything. If you found something interesting, like share something, share a trend. If you found something interesting in the profile, just let them know. That's the whole idea. You want to kind of do this like as if you're sharing some information with a friend of yours, of course, without going into any forms of extremes. You know yourself. Run video events, and I really like this, the way it's set up on LinkedIn. Now, very few people use this, but it's really, really powerful. You can launch a video event on LinkedIn, and it's going to be live, and you don't need to invite anybody, because once they scroll through their LinkedIn profiles, they would actually see your profile and a live video. So LinkedIn is actually pushing this out. You will not be able to grab any like emails, um, do any of that nature, and potentially people will not even be commenting. But it's another way of like getting your face out there and shining in front of people, and generating a huge amount of, actually quite a substantial amount of impressions, because LinkedIn is pushing out this stuff. And once they do this, it's again, it's another touch point. So it's a lot easier for somebody to you know buy from you afterwards in reality. So this is a really good thing, which I recommend using. Another thing is interviews, like something like opinion polls, and these are quick ways to build a report. I really like this strategy because it kind of does two things. So first of all, you kind of fly under the radar, and because the people you'll be taking interviews from are your potential clients. Yeah, that's the whole idea. So you kind of fly under their radar because you build rapport with them, and then you produce quality content as well to share with other potential clients of yours, and then you can quickly generate quite a cloud within the small community that you are serving. So it really becomes really, really powerful. So interviews are a good way to build rapport, because again, you are kind of helping them to publish some stuff. You are, being really nice and attentive to their ego. If they have anything to share, it's a really, really good opportunity, and a really, really nice long-term slash evergreen form of content as well. I recommend this. Now, the next thing is you have to profile, don't do optimization. You have to do profile transformation. You have to transform it into a landing page. So every time you get your ideal customer profile, a landing to your profile, then be like, whoa, this guy knows a girl, this guy, a girl knows exactly what I'm looking for. And then like literally talking to to the pain that that your potential ideal client has. Okay. So you have to call out your ideal customer profile, use your banner, use your headline, use your about me section to do this. I covered this a lot in my previous videos of LinkedIn profile optimization. It's really, really important you do this. And then you have to invite them to do what is called a micro conversion, in a way, kind of bribe them to obtain their email. You can see here, but it says email. And that's for touch points again. So the idea is that the absolute majority of people, they have like, they're not looking to buy a solution at the moment. And the problem is that once they're on LinkedIn, they're seeing not just yourself. Yeah, they're seeing so many other people, and then they almost like forget. Like, can you tell what sort of content you've been going through in the morning today? Probably not. Same idea here. So you want to take people off the social platform, like LinkedIn applies to any other social platform, and then you kind of put them in your ecosystem. And this is something I also shared in my other video about Cap- Gemini and the way they do their B2B marketing. I'll share that at the end of this video. The idea is to have this multi kind of platform, multi-platform, multi-touch point ecosystem where your client kind of like swims and marinates themselves. That's the whole idea. And have tons of social proof. That's really, really important. So your profile, just imagine, like, supposedly, like, say you're looking for, I don't know, I'll give an example. I know, say you're looking for a Shopify e-commerce agency, and then all of a sudden you share, you fall into this profile of this guy, like a Shopify SEO guru, and you're seeing like just all of these different things that they're showing, and then there's a ton of social proof, and they've got this like checklist where they're inviting you to download, which is basically a micro conversion. They're dragging you into this. That's the whole idea. And then they're taking off LinkedIn, and then they kind of start marketing to you at the back end. That's the idea. Now, some KPIs of our best LinkedIn outreach strategy. So a VA sends out 40 connection requests per day. So a trained VA can do this in a couple of hours, depending on how quickly they go, depending on how tight the criteria is. And the size of the company as well, it has an effect, because finding a decision maker in a company with like 1 to 10 employees is a lot quicker than 11 to 50 or 51 to 200. So that has an effect. But generally, that's the idea, because you really want to push that the maximum that LinkedIn offers to you with a VA. Next, approximately 8%, 8 connection requests will be accepted on a daily basis. That kind of goes to 160 per month. Again, 20% conversion rate. And I recommend not adding any personal notes there, like at all, because you spend so much time on these personalized notes. And actually, like some interesting um, tests showed that having a note can dramatically decrease the conversion rate. So yeah, don't use the notes. It takes a lot of time, and people that would accept your connection request, they would do it anyway. So yeah, and for any cold connection requests like these, anywhere between 15 to 25, maybe even 30%, if you're pretty, you're gonna get that, no problem. 48 will reply to your messages approximately in a month. So that's the conversion rate from the 160 per month. Next, out of these, you will have approximately 7 discovery calls. That's every month again. Out of these 7 discovery calls, you will have approximately 5, maybe a bit less, strategy calls. Okay. And of these strategy calls, you will roughly close 2, which is approximately 1.25% of the 160 connections per month that accept your connection requests, and approximately half of the 3% that I mentioned earlier that are looking for a solution. So that's roughly the idea. Okay. Again, B2B cycles, sales cycles can last for months. So do not force it. And learn from Capgemini's approach to B2B marketing and long-term vision. I mentioned this earlier in the video. These guys, they do very, very interesting things. They run, like, I went there and I checked out like their ads on LinkedIn, their ads on Facebook. I saw that where they take them. It's very, very interesting. So if you guys want to learn and see, join my B2B Growth Guild community. It's 100% free, and you get the chance to learn B2B client acquisition strategies, organic, paid, cold outreach, everything about LinkedIn marketing, social selling, high ticket clients, all of that stuff. So I hope to see you that in that community, because if you don't go there, your competitor will, and they will learn from me, and they will get your butt kicked. Just kidding with you. So have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video.